Hey everybody, this is not quite a news update, but let's take a look at microtransactions. Now, to give you a little history on who I am as a person, one of my previous employments was actually in the mobile industry. And so I actually worked with them and we were strategizing, we figured out some of the best ways to make money and how to keep games free and still keep away so that people can, get the games and we can make money and everybody walks away happy, right? So here is why microtransactions. Why microtransactions? Now, the first thing to consider is you make a game, right? And while, yes, it's a good idea to stick something out in the market, and if it builds up and everyone loves it, yeah, great, you get famous, you're a developer. Wow, awesome. Look at the Flappy Bird guy. He just, wow. Who knew how many people would download Flappy Bird and all the clones and junk? But now, back up a sec and suppose you're a corporation that has to pay salaries, okay? And when I worked in the mobile industry, it was for an enterprise. And basically, they had to pay me, and other people to make these games, to get them tested, to get them out the door. And so the company can make more money, make more games, get them tested, get them out the door, and so forth, right? So the options were as such. We could either charge a flat fee for the game. Now, when you charge for a game, the price is the difficulty of entry. Because if you look at that sticker, are you likely to... you spend $1 on a game, you're like, okay, whatever. But are you more likely or less likely to buy a game and recommend it and stuff like that? And if it goes for $1 and it's a bum or something, people are going to have expectations the moment they have to pay for that initial game. And so we looked at that and we found that actually games that have a price tag to them, those are the ones that as soon as people have to shell out money, you have to sell so many of it to actually make your initial investment back. And that was considered too high of a risk for us to actually go forward and to actually get our games going, right? So we considered that as a non-viable option. Next option is we do interstitial ads. And so what this is when the game's loading, in between levels, anytime we can get a pause in the game, all of a sudden, boom, ad pops up, and this actually created a very poor user experience. Because people would be sitting there and they'd have to wait for the ad to load, and once the ad loads, the rest of the game would then load, and so it created, and yes, you can simul-load a lot of stuff, but the expectation of people is that when they get this game, they don't necessarily want all the garbage in there. If you have a premium version versus a free version, the free version's got ads, most people opt for the premium version, and when you pull the ads out, the lifetime revenue of that goes way down. I mean, if I charge you $5 for a game, and I don't get any cost per impressions on it, then that's $5. That's a flat 5. It's everyone else who's playing the game for free that actually makes money, because every time an ad pops up and they see that ad, it's a guaranteed view, and we get a little bit of money off it. Now, because that doesn't actually convert, because an impression, someone seeing the ad, doesn't actually equate to a conversion, somebody making a transaction in the favor of the advertising company, then what you have is you basically have a lower risk and so therefore lower pay for the company making the game. An example of this actually would be if you've ever played Wipeout on PlayStation 3, Wipeout HD. They had this stupid car commercial. Every time it would load, this stupid car commercial would play, and I hated it. Just load my game, get my game going. I hated that because it added a little bit to loading time. Because you have to load that ad, then you load the game. Next option. Microtransaction. And so, microtransaction, well, you can do the subscription based like World of Warcraft and whatnot, but in the mobile market, that doesn't work. So when you're talking mobile and most games, microtransaction. So what microtransaction is I give you a base game. Usually it's for free, and I really hate that like Tomb Raider and stuff is doing this and saying, hey, we're going to give you this whole game and you pay $60 for it, and then we're still going to charge you out the wazoo for everything. But no, instead they say, okay, here's your base game. free. Enjoy. And so you buy the base game. You don't buy the base game, but you get the base game. And then from there, you're like, okay, cool. And if you like it, you can increase it, have more fun with this game for just $1 more. Just $1 more. That's 99 cents. It's not going to break the bank. $1. It's a can of spaghetti. That's a little yo-yo or something, right? It's just $1. One less McDonald's soda. Great. People look at that. They say, hey, that's low cost. I really like this game. Sure, I'll pay my $1. And then the way it worked for a lot of our games was you say like it's we'll say it's Dolphin Simulator, right? So you start with just your basic dolphins, but there's some special dolphins, and if you want to breed these, it takes premium currency. And so now you have a person who says, well, for $1, I can get a premium dolphin, something that's I can't get normally in the game. And so they're willing to spend that $1 to get that. But then what we do is we open an array of more dolphins that are along the premium chain. And so people who are really getting into the game will keep spending money along that premium chain just to keep getting those awesome new dolphins. And we kick out new dolphins every so often with a patch. And people are like, wow, I got to spend money. I got to get that rainbow flavored, triple colored, hyper dolphin, whatever. And eventually you give them like a shark or something like that. No, it's a super dolphin. But people sit there and they're like, wow, this is awesome. This is awesome. And by the time they've spent 30, 40, we actually had someone spend $60 on a free game at one point, which was like, whoa. They spent all this money and they don't even realize that they've spent it. Because it's always been a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And those small transactions, people these days do have a shorter attention span. And so as they keep spending that little bit, eventually they end up sinking tons of money into it. Now, a good example of this is think of Rock Band, Guitar Hero, Rocksmith, any of those music games. Think of any of those. How many songs have you purchased? How many track packs have you purchased in the past? And with Rock Band 4 out now, we're probably going to, and Guitar Hero I hear is supposed to be making a comeback too, we're probably going to see people doing this a lot more. You think, well, hey, they've got a Van Halen song. I used to like Van Halen. Why not? Why not relive my old days? Or, my personal case, they got some garbage out there. They got some No Doubt. And Nightwish. Loved it when Amareth hit there. But so they sit there and they're like, all right, so we can just spend a little bit, $2 for a song that you can keep playing over and over and over. Why not? And eventually what happens is that you end up to a point where you spent so much money on songs that you're the life of the party when you bring your rock band, but at the same point in time, though, how much money have you spent in that music? And so it really goes back to the little bit people keep spending, and it keeps building more and more and more revenue on that same platform, keeping people locked into those games. The most successful, and this isn't microtransactions at this point, but DLC does count to some degree as a microtransaction because it's just paying to keep extending the game. And Call of Duty, okay? Call of Duty is a major player in this arena. Because what do? You want to keep playing professionally, competitively? $15 for this map pack. $15. And you keep doing that. And by the time they've released all of the map packs, you've spent a good $200 on a $60 game, which all of that DLC, thin air, magic, it's gone. It's not on the disc. It's in the cloud. And so long as you have the disc and your system doesn't go and the system is still being supported, yeah, you're okay. But once the system's gone, so is all your DLC. And so this is one of the ways that we've become accustomed to a lot of these microtransactions because we just see DLC as being, hey, this is us getting something to extend our gameplay. We don't always put the connection to that this is actually, additional transactions. I like the picture. I like the meme that I saw a while back. It was floating around the internet. It basically shows a picture of the Mona Lisa, and it says, in the 90s, what was your DLC or expansion packs? And it shows a full Mona Lisa, and then you get a couple other paintings beside it. And it says circa like 2003 and stuff. What was your DLC? And it shows the Mona Lisa, but then parts of her are missing, and you have to pay for them as DLC. And then it shows now what is the Mona Lisa, and you maybe get from the base up to about here on her, and the rest is like her eyes are GameStop exclusive. If you buy it on Amazon, you get her left ear. If you buy it at Target, you get, you know, her hairline. And then you have other parts of her that are DLC exclusives. And so microtransactions, and let me try and wrap this up here, but microtransactions, DLC, all of that is a way that they take and they make money to keep development moving forward. Is it lazy? Yes, it actually is quite lazy in many ways. Because all you have to do is just kick out a new asset for an existing title and poof. That's why I used to love back in the day Epic Games, because Epic Games took all of their Unreal maps, characters, etc. All of that was made just free to anyone. They just push it out. Thanks for buying our game. Here. They didn't care if you bought it at GameStop. They'd just kick it out. Here you go. Enjoy. Awesome, guys. That was great. And they did it with Unreal Tournament 3 on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. So I enjoyed that a lot. Microtransactions, I don't agree with them. Now, me personally, DLC, I am guilty of it. There are a few games, like with the Halloween costumes for Dead or Alive. All right, Alice in Wonderland is one of my favorite stories, so I'm probably going to get that costume at some point. But still, the fact of the matter is that they're trying to extend the life of a game, and they're trying to do it with as little effort as possible, and they're trying to make as much money as possible off the players. And when it's something like buying premium currency to get that super rainbow spinny tricolored dolphin with shark fins, I won't do it. If it's DLC that I find a lot of value towards, I'm more likely to do it. And if it's something as simple as a costume, there's rare exceptions, I'll actually buy a costume. Again, the Alice in Wonderland is one where it's a rare exception. So consider it this way, guys. We all hate microtransactions as much as we do. But sadly, in the market today, and with what gamers have done, it makes it the most viable means for a company to keep making money and money and money off their games. And it's the most viable. How do we put a stop to microtransactions? Simple. Stop buying them. Resident Evil Revelations 2, I don't like that it was split out into different scenarios. Guys, I haven't bought the game. I just haven't bought the game. I disagree with that. And if Capcom ever sells all of the episodes for $5, I'll do it. $10, I'll do it. But the whole, hey, you gotta spend $5 all the way through the episode, and they don't actually do it for a decent amount? No, I won't do it. I won't do a lot of Telltale games. Same reason. I won't do a lot of just different games. I don't like being forced to keep paying for the same game over and over and over and over again. So that's why for me, I don't spend money on that. I won't do it. It's very rare. Now, if you want to add a fighter to my Mortal Kombat game or my Virtua Fighter or whatever, sweet. Want to add a costume? It's got to hit me in the right way, otherwise no. That's microtransactions in as complete as I can give you. Again, haven't worked in the industry. I understand why they do it. For me personally, I refuse to pay again and again and again for a game. And so I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Tomb Raider, you want to do your microtransaction stuff on Rise of the Tomb Raider? I say no. Forget about it. You guys, what do you think? How much have you ever spent on a game in microtransactions, DLC, and so forth? What do you even think about the whole thing? I want to hear from you. Comments below. And I thank you for watching. We'll catch you next time.